This week on It's Happening Out.
He's bouncing off my booty cheeks. I love the way he rides.
Okay.
Ricky Martin and Juan Joseph are divorcing after 6 years of marriage. The Puerto Rican superstar and the Syrian-Swedish artist.
It's all happening out tonight. With your hosts, gay guru Al Ferguson, lesbian activist Faye What, pansexual leather daddy Elimination, drag queen and comedian Auntie Maim, Latino muscle bear Jonathan Casañas, Gen Z political advocate Maxx Fenning, Gen Z bear and actor Cameron Glass, leadership coach and leather sir Mark Pettit, Indo-Caribbean artist TriniDaddy, Muslim American communications exec Kal Gajraj. It all starts right now, live on It's Happening Out.
Good evening and welcome to It's Happening Out, the world's most popular live gay television talk show. We are broadcasting live and then on demand on Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, Amazon Fire Television, and of course, my favorites, YouTube and Facebook. It's 9 p.m., Wednesday, July 12th, 2023, and like my Grindr profile, I'm hosting.
Oh, because you have a house. Yes, not from the car.
Al's gotten brave.
All right, I'm your host, Kal Gajraj. Oh. Hotspots Magazine Happening Out Television Network is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model of PBS and NPR, but for the LGBTQ plus community. Our mission is to support the 10 pillars of our LGBTQ plus community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of our Black community, Latino, lesbian, trans, students and youth, seniors, HIV/AIDS, healthcare, business, social activism, and faith. Help us support our community. Now let's have some fun.
Yeah.
You guys ready? TikTok has become the top source for viral content on the internet. You can find everything from recipes, hot guys, and vacation clips. And nothing says vacation like a cruise on Virgin Voyages. Virgin has been an iconic supporter of the LGBTQ plus community and your number one choice of LGBTQ plus vacation experience. Value is the word, a value they deliver with being an adult-only cruise, Wi-Fi included, 20 plus eateries included, tips included, and essential drinks included. That's the value. And there's value and also being self-evident. Virgin Voyages fights for equality and the right to be seen, heard, and included. So whether an LGBTQ plus cruise charter, Pride Month celebrations, or countless sponsorship of our charities and nonprofits, this is why Virgin Voyages is part of our best TikTok of the week. So each week we will show our favorite TikTok video. So our TikTok of the week is Shrek Goes Country by user @DavidCone75.
He's bouncing off my booty cheeks. I love the way he rides. I can hardly breathe when he's pumping deep inside. I kiss him on his neck and then he kisses on my pussy. Call him daddy while I holler, man, that boy's so damn good looking.
Max, what do you think?
Yeah, Max.
First and foremost, I did not realize it was going to be that and not the original video of the song that was famous. Oh my God.
Are you really turning red because he said he was messing with his bussy? Is that why you're turning red? Oh my gosh.
Okay, well, first of all, in regards to the song, y'all remember when Lil Nas put out that country song before he came out?
Yeah.
If Gator's real, and Gator's not real, but if Gator's real, that was how I knew this. The way he said booty, right? It gave off the exact same vibe as this, and so I knew he came out, he sent that little SpongeBob thing, and I was like,
that was it.
Yeah. Don't look at me. I'm mortified.
Oh my gosh.
Shook it. I felt like he was taking it. He was being penetrated right there.
Do you see his eyes? His eyes darted a little bit. Every
Shrek was definitely rubbing up against him,
Shrek
right?
was giving it to him.
He
There
said
were
my
sounds
pussy.
every time. Like,
His eyebrows rise,
I
right?
was like, Lord have mercy.
He told you he was going deep inside him.
You know, on another note, it's actually a good song. Like he sings pretty good. Like that is when I grew up in Homestead, Florida.
That is not him singing.
No, I know that's not that guy singing. It was. I looked up the song, and the whole song is pretty explicit. And I heard it like maybe a week or two before, like maybe 2 weeks ago, and I was like, I started to jam to it, and I was like, wait,
Could you relate?
I've been singing
No,
it
could
on
you relate?
repeat all day today.
it's a good song,
For the
good
past
singer.
like 3 days.
I look forward to part 2, the Donkey Show. That's gonna be
That's gonna be it.
one, right?
I think I prefer Shrek over the donkey. I'm not trying to beat sides.
We don't care about your sexual preferences. Right?
So, but that makes me a little nervous. The country guy with the donkey show. Is it going to be the donkey and the
Same
guy?
horse,
Is the same?
right?
The same? But is he going to ride the donkey?
I love that song.
Is he going to ride the donkey?
I don't know.
I imagine Shrek and the donkey are similar in size.
I would
You
think.
think so?
Yeah, Shrek
Yeah.
is huge.
You know that Shrek just like hits the floor. Splat.
This gave us everything. He licked the boots, so he's into oral fixation. He deep penetration. He got the eye. He's hitting the second hole just for you.
There you go.
That's probably the one thing I could say that like I learned from this show that will always stick with me for years to come is the second hole. Thank you, IHO.
All right, before we leave the dock with TikTok, let's think about the best place to make your next video, a Virgin Voyages cruise.
Come on, chameleon. You come and go. You come and go. Love will amazing because I like my dream. Red, golden green. Red, golden green.
I need a drink.
All right, who needs a shot? Ready? Let's play our yes or no game called I'd Swallow That.
There's only 4.
I'm going to make 4 statements, and if the hosts agree, they'll take a shot. I'd Swallow That is sponsored by the LGBTQ plus community's favorite spirit brand. Bacardi is the world's most loved rum brand. Bacardi is diverse as our LGBTQ plus community. Our neighbors here in South Florida, they are the world's largest privately held spirits company. Bacardi is also a legacy name in their support for the LGBTQ plus community with sponsorships, pride enhancements, embracements, and a deep, passionate support of our LGBTQ plus charities and causes. And that's why tonight, It's Happening Out plays I'd Swallow That with our favorite rum drink, Bacardi.
Yay!
Here we go. All right, question number 1. Look around the table and you'll notice that our dear Faye Watt and Al Ferguson are not around tonight. While they're busy doing some personal work, we thought we would take over this week's It's Happening Out and do it our way.
Yes.
We are going to have way more fun than usual.
Yes.
Say that again, but sound fun.
We're going to have way more fun than usual.
I feel like he said it just like Al.
I know, I need a couple shots, that's what it is. With a Bacardi shot, I'd swallow that. While Al and Faye are away, the It's Happening Out cast will play.
Yes.
Salud.
To that. And right now, I'm Jay What?
Jay, what?
Yeah, I'm just a prettier version of Faye.
Oh my God, you are with bigger tits.
That's I do have bigger
You got
tits.
bigger tits, right?
tits.
So,
Bigger
so
tits.
how many of us thought that they're in Al's Volvo right now, being Thelma and Louise in his old ass Volvo, like running down and she's beating him with the heel of her shoe as he's driving in that old ass Volvo
From the house of Volvo.
Not House of Volvo.
House of Volvo.
House of
All
Volvo.
the way from the OG episode.
I feel like at this hour, Al's probably just under a boy. I don't know why. I just feel like
Under? Oh.
right. It's almost nighttime.
I mean, it is his birthday.
right. They got to get it over with. They gotta
Is it
go
his
back to school.
birthday?
Well, this week.
Yeah.
Well, there's definitely a boy inside his
There's a
belly
birth,
button
right?
now.
You gotta hurry up. They got school in the morning. So
They got
that you got school in the morning.
No, it's summer. School's out for the summer.
that one will be in summer school.
Oh, do they go to school in Cuba? I don't think they go.
You know what? Maybe he's getting round 2 of that lipo that he getting that fixed, but he messed up the last show.
I can't wait
Remember?
for round 8.
Oh my.
Is this the first time those two
That's
old
the
hags
breakthrough
haven't been on this show?
Yeah,
The first time
I
ever?
think so.
Did they
I'm gonna
bring
take a
that on
second
here?
shot.
Okay.
All right, next.
If we don't have faith.
I'm right here.
Look, we're missing a topic.
Right
There
here.
should have been 5 of
My Sunday
these.
school hands.
Right,
here,
that's all you need.
ready.
All right, next. What's the best nightclub in the world? Many attribute the moniker to Berghain, Berlin's uber-exclusive techno institution notorious for its draconian door policy. A diverse cross-section of nightlife professionals have their favorite clubs, including Basement in Brooklyn, New York, Gay in London, the Eagle in Wilton Manors, and the Cock in New York City. Question 2. With a Bacardi shot, I'd swallow that. Nightlife experts have compiled a list of the world's best gay bars, and I have my own best.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw this list. I can't take this
You're
shot.
not- well, you have your own list, right?
I don't
mean,
agree with
yeah.
this if we take a shot.
I'm just sipping.
Well, do you have your own list?
I've been to one of them and I'm like, this couldn't be in the top 10 in the world. But
Well, those are just some examples of some of the best.
No, they
nightlife-
literally named those as the top 5. Like I've been to GAY. I don't see it as a top 5.
But the thing is, the thing for me, because with GAY, it's not that great, but it's an institution.
Yes.
And like that was kind of how that list was coming out to
That's
me. It was like not necessarily the best, but these are literally like the cultural, it's like Basement. It's like cultural institutions.
yeah.
You know?
So maybe rename it, retool
Exactly.
it as like things to check out while you're in these areas. Because to me, with that said, A, not the best, but then B, what do you consider the best? Because if you saw the common theme
Yeah.
was either get it on, dark room, jocks, and whatever. And so all that did to me was get all the kinds, the evidence to go, how are we going to go raid this place next? We're going to go raid that place next. We're going to go take over
Well, I
that
don't know.
place
Because
next.
What 1940 Supreme Court case are we going to
Right.
pull up this?
I'm just saying, did you not read?
No, they're very different. Like GAY is pretty like queer, where
super
Wilton
queer.
is pretty dark.
Well, I mean, like for example, right, GAY
Eagle.
in England, right? Like every pop star in England before their single came out, they would go perform at this, and it was like national news.
Right.
Like it's such a big deal. But I think that also there's a difference now in what you call a club, right? Like the techno club, it's like I've been to a few techno clubs,
Yeah.
and they're just like warehouses. And the music's okay, but it's not like, oh, this is an amazing kind of
And that's why I said, like, why do they call it the best? Because if you think about it, back in the 80s, 90s, that's how people launched their dance. Like the club music started inside of a true club. And that's how the DJs got a chance to talk to each other. Like, hey, did you hear this track? You got to play this. And then that's how the true house head, the house music heads really got their start from being deep inside Ultra, Barbara Tucker, like all of those folks start there and then just blew up. And so I think to that point is how we kind of maybe gauge what the best of it is
gotten
versus.
homogenized now.
And it's also a generational thing also because when I think back to, 10, 15 years ago, I would have said, the Coliseum here in South Florida, as being the best of the best. No, not in Rome.
Cal Ferguson, that is such a Cal Ferguson statement, yes.
Like I was a child.
But our very own Jonathan actually performed at Eagle, New York last week.
I did. I did.
Yes.
I mean, it's funny because I performed at some of these venues, and the Eagle versus like the Eagle in London, are
Yes.
the two totally different things.
Oh, they're all so
like one is
different.
more disco queer, the other one's more leather, dark. So the brand Eagle does not spread, like they just don't talk amongst
Doesn't
each other.
spread.
There's no network.
It was really interesting, yeah, because the one in LA was so because I went to the one in New York and the one in LA,
Yeah.
two entirely different
Yes.
worlds, and I was like, I thought these were all the same.
But think about it, they're not, but they're feeding their community. So our Eagle is built in the heart of the tourist town.
Yes, honey.
So they have to give the place for the tourists. And so they have to try to find a good mesh of, and they did a great job describing it in the article of, feeding the tourists, also trying to feed the leather folks. But the crazy thing is, I'm not sure if you guys saw, there was a recent post or TikTok where folks were looking around at the Eagle and looking at the lack thereof of boots. So how can we call ourselves a leather bar when there's truly no leather boots inside of the leather bar?
They do what they want. It's called branding.
And I have to say, I went to Dallas, Eagle Dallas.
That part.
And Dallas Eagle is like probably one of my favorites, and I've been to a few of them. But that's because I like Dallas gay culture better. It's just a very low-key, laid-back, like non-pretentious group, and that's kind of how that Eagle
I mean, listen,
is.
I think your city is going to kind of change your bar. So
Absolutely.
it's going to pertain, I guess, to the culture there, but it's still very weird when we're considering top 10, top 5
in the
bars. Yeah, it's very
So
weird.
I'm actually really curious for Max because you're a newly minted 21-year-old.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you've been to a couple of bars in the last couple of weeks.
So I'm so infrequent. I don't know. Like my thing is like I don't know. It's a lot of times going out just hasn't been my scene in general. I'm a bit of a homebody, as extroverted as I would like to believe myself to be. And so it remains to be seen. I sort of have to be dragged out to see it.
I mean, that's actually
I was the same way,
though. Yeah. I mean, the thing is that you're extroverted, but also, I mean, we can say your energy is projected in so many other areas.
Right.
That you being a homebody completely makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, because I don't have the time.
Shameless plug. Come to Eagle Arctic Deep South host their event every second
When?
Saturday.
Second
of
Saturday.
every month. We bring out the black and brown leather folks.
All right.
And there you will
All right.
find the true leather.
y'all take pleather.
We will bring it all, baby. Bring in the pleather, the leather, the heels, and it all.
And just like the LGBTQ plus community on Wilton Drive, we're taking a lot of shots. Let's take a momentary break and hear from our sponsor, Bacardi Rum. Next, gay Twitter is experiencing whiplash. With Elon Musk making the Bird app increasingly worse and more chaotic, there is a frantic search for an alternative. Gays are joining a series of new apps like Blue Sky and Mastodon for free and indiscriminating discussions. And now, Mark Zuckerberg has entered the equation by unveiling its Twitter killer, Threads. Will gays ditch the other apps for Thread? Question 3. With the Bacardi shot, I'd swallow that. I've joined the crowd ditching Twitter for Threads, or I plan to.
I have joined Threads, so I'm going to.
I did also.
I guess
I mean, I also joined because I wanted to keep an eye on my man. You know, like,
Well,
what do you do?
Wow.
But you know what's funny about the whole
Toxicity.
thing? Because I remember the morning or night that Threads was launched, and I immediately had downloaded it. And the gay community does not fail at all. Like they were out there posting nudes. The first thing that they could.
So, Paul, you can't put nudes?
Well, no,
No.
but no
here's
one
the
knows
thing.
what you can do on
So
there.
everything. Okay, I'm gonna say.
they not have
Because I did not
Did they not
drink.
launch
I did
with
not
community
drink.
guidelines?
I did not
This is
drink.
not gonna be the Twitter killer because you can still put up your bussy and your dick and everything else on Twitter. So this is not gonna kill.
But I saw someone's hole out
Yeah, but
yesterday.
they're still moderating it. Like they just haven't gotten to it yet.
Excuse me, I saw a hole.
There's already been some like moderating.
Yeah, the Karen.
Right?
Can you be the Karen of Threads? You're like, excuse me, this actually violates community guidelines. They will be reporting
Yeah.
this thing.
It wasn't hairy enough, so it has to
Wasn't
go.
hairy enough.
I mean, I didn't see a ton of it because it's so fresh. But a lot of the people that do post
The whole or the app?
until the whole,
Ain't no fresh hole on there.
fresh hole.
Ain't fresh.
But those that were on Twitter are now on Threads because you can easily just say, I want to follow everyone I've been following. And so I went through my list. I was like, oh, I don't even remember I was following this dude. And they were like an OnlyFans kind of a Twitter poster. So I think you will be able to. I think they're trying to kill, Twitter for a reason, and you can't do that without posting nudes.
I know.
The cool thing about it is that Threads is built on the Instagram platform. So once you get your same screen name as you have on Instagram, or you can change it, but then you can automatically follow everyone that you currently follow on Instagram, and they can follow you
So
back.
that's why I did not drink, because I'm like, I am not putting my vital information out into a whole nother platform. And they have it, but guess what? What I'm not trying to do is give it to a whole nother group of folks and be like,
Hey, you got a lot of information out there on
Baby
this.
time.
It's not even one of those. My thing is,
my opinion looks like everybody. Oh, no, not everybody's opinion.
It don't look like everybody else.
I just can't handle another. I mean, I didn't even start actually using Twitter until January of last year.
Wow.
Like I can't handle another social media platform. That's too much.
So COVID brought mine out because it was only because I was home and I needed to find a good way to see naked people. So that's the only reason why I joined Twitter. And then I was like, let me start sharing mine.
Okay, even Prism, we were like, are we gonna make a Threads? Threads is like the new thing. Are we gonna make a Threads? We're like, we're gonna wait it out. We have a 1 week update. 100 million people have joined Threads, so I have to message our content creation team, or whatever yesterday.
Executive director, hold on.
Like,
Did y'all hear executive director? Hold on, pause.
Yes, congratulations.
I need y'all to hear. I need y'all to hear that power play that he just put on the table.
But like,
He was like,
Al is here.
I need to call communications.
And he's like, hey y'all. So I guess this answers. I send the video. I'm like, I guess this answers our question. Guess we're making a Threads now.
Can somebody explain to me what Threads is?
It's just Twitter.
It's just
But it's linked to your
by another
Instagram?
lizard.
The reason why I haven't done it yet is because somebody who was on a talk show talking about like the introduction of Threads.
I don't want to see his face.
Is that
I don't want to see
when
that
if you sign up for Threads, you can't delete it unless you delete your Instagram as well. So that's the reason why I have to make sure I really want to invest in this.
If you add Threads, you cannot delete your profile from Threads because it's tied to your Instagram.
Unless you delete your entire Instagram.
Yeah, you can basically that's it. You just freeze it.
Yeah, but maybe I don't want. I just want to decide whether I want to even have that.
What I think is funny is that the people.
But what do you get to do?
Well, everyone's posting everything on Threads and Twitter and Instagram and
Well, it's supposed to be
the
different.
exact same
It's supposed
post
to be
across
different,
all
yeah.
social media platforms.
I do that with TikTok. Like my TikToks are basically the same shit I'm gonna post on Instagram. There might be a slight variation, but that's why I didn't understand Twitter, because it's just like a only word, instead of pictures, like Instagram's all pictures. It's like, is Twitter only for words? I don't know.
Twitter's for porn.
Actually, they're actually saying that Threads is already a better Instagram than Instagram was because Instagram started changing.
Yeah.
Like there was an article about
Yeah.
it. For me, I just want anything that makes Elon Musk's life a living hell. I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Cheers to that. Next, our favorite person, Al Ferguson, will turn 63 on Friday.
Woo, honey!
While we were looking forward to celebrating his birthday when he comes back from his tour, we want to let him know how much he inspires us and makes us feel happy whenever he's around. And hence, this I'd Swallow That is dedicated. I'm reading a teleprompter, people. I was forced to read this. I Would Swallow That is dedicated to our friend and your favorite gay guru, Al. Question 4. With the Bacardi shot, I'd swallow that. Friday is Al's birthday. I'll drink to that.
I'll drink to that.
You know what?
Happy birthday, Al.
It's better to drink than pour some out for the homies. So we're going to drink.
Right,
We're going to drink it.
I haven't done that in a long time. I keep all liquor out of my body.
I love I love Al. I mean, the thing is that with Al, as much as we make fun of Al and pick it out, he did amazing things, right? I was trying to explain to my sibling who watches RuPaul's Drag Race, the old ones. I was like, yeah, Al&Chunk.travel. That's Al. He's like, wait, what? Yeah. Because Al's really done a lot of things for the community, and so as much as I make fun of him, I love him.
He doesn't let you forget it either. So that's a part that
he'll take no beat.
I remember one time Al told me that he used to work with RuPaul.
What?
He
did?
He's reminded me every day since. Every day. I mean, let's not shut the fuck up about him working for RuPaul.
If y'all haven't noticed, every single time he mentions RuPaul, Elimination and I would look at each other. We'll just go.
So let's be clear. Production, before we all leave, production gives him this whole ass briefcase of money as he leaves. That's why he always leaves before us, because he doesn't want any of us to take it from him. So I mean, it's the truth, but it's okay. But I agree.
It's fine. I mean, I just want him to bring RuPaul onto the show, and then it'll be worth it. Having to hear him talk about RuPaul.
RuPaul
on the show.
He's been edging us this whole time.
Totally RuPauling us.
He truly does have
RuPauling us.
RuPaul and Michelle Visage.
Yeah.
I mean, I interviewed Al once, and I was trying to do research on him, and not a lot came up, to be honest. And so I was like,
it's all a lie.
And so I was like, I'll ask him on the show. I was like, so what makes you so well known? What's your tea? What are you about? And so he proceeded to tell me. Well, he gets a text message from Michelle Visage and was like, "Who's this fucking fag that doesn't know who you are?"
Wow.
Yeah. And he showed me the text. I was like, "Okay, maybe you do know Michelle." Whatever.
That was the only reason why I want to see him. Michelle was the hottest thing. I want that fire.
I want Michelle Visage.
I want Michelle
so much.
So bring Michelle and keep Al. Can we make that switch?
Oh yeah.
If you bring Michelle Visage, you can talk about RuPaul all you want. You can talk about him every single day. I don't care.
Well, Al, we hope you're having a great time, and we want to wish you a very happy birthday from your It's Happening Now cast. We love you very much.
Turn your
You all right? We don't love you. You all right?
turn your boy over and say go.
We tolerate you.
Take that boy out of your belly
Take the
button.
boy out. Hey, tell him to go to home.
That's I'd Swallow That. Next is our segment we call the Best Thing of the Week. Each week, It's Happening Out celebrates great things in our community. Best Thing of the Week is sponsored by Israel's national airline, El Al. El Al was born in 1948 with the state of Israel and is an expression of national existence and pride. And this pride is self-evident in South Florida. El Al features nonstop service from Miami to one of the world's great LGBTQ plus destinations. That's Israel. And this fall, El Al will connect the two LGBTQ plus capitals, Tel Aviv and Fort Lauderdale, with the seasonal service, and next spring adding extensive flights. And that's why El Al sponsors the Best Thing of the Week. Pride Fete is around the corner. It is a South Florida LGBTQ plus festival featuring fantastic music, art, and culture of the Caribbean islands. People attended to enjoy reggae, compa, bachata, and more from South Florida's hottest LGBTQ plus DJs and entertainers. The event will take place on August 12th from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. at the historic Richardson Park in Wilton Manors. The 2022 inaugural Pride Fete saw over 1,000 attendees, and this year they are aiming higher. Interested people can buy tickets on pridefete.lgbt. Those who want to volunteer can also visit the site to sign up. The Best Thing of the Week, Pride Fete, is a month away, and we love that there's a celebration for Caribbean LGBTQ+.
Yes.
Yes.
I know we're out of shots, but I would definitely take a shot for this. I know TriniDaddy and I are from Caribbean countries, and my family is specifically from Guyana, and they only started celebrating Pride in 2018. And so
I didn't know they celebrated Pride at all in Guyana.
Yeah, there's like a little Pride event that they have, with different events. Like, it's not on the scale that we have. Like, they do have a parade.
Are you the
but
Grand
they have,
Marshal?
no, I wish I would. But like, they have like a movie night. There's like a drag night. There's like different events that they have. But Guyana is actually still part of the 6 Caribbean countries that criminalize you for being gay. So being, from a West Indian descent, I'm really excited for an event like this because I can celebrate being, my Caribbean heritage here with my family and friends.
So this event actually, they started at a smaller scale a couple of years ago. So I'm glad to see that it's finally getting the publicity that it deserves.
Flowers.
And the flowers, absolutely. Like, because I remember we would go there in like 2018. It was a little small. And it was only a few of us that would go and celebrate the culture. And you got to see a plethora of Caribbean folks, of brown folks, of black folks, and enjoying and highlighting your country and an ability to celebrate in that space and in Wilton Manors. Let's take a moment to recognize that piece and in Wilton Manors. And so the fact that we are now able to celebrate it on this large of a scale and encourage others to come and be a part and celebrate that is a yeoman's feat within itself. And so I would take a shot with that as well. I was to call you Al. But
Cal.
I won't.
Cal.
Al Ferguson. But
I'll give you Cal Ferguson.
Cal Ferguson.
Al and Jay Watt.
Absolutely. So again, let's all take a moment. Hopefully we all can go together, celebrate them together.
Yeah, that's right. Let's go
do that.
together.
Well, I was planning on going to the Trinidad Carnival right before COVID happened, and that erased those plans. So I might go in February to Trinidad Carnival. So I'm happy, so happy. I really want to be part of Pride Fete. The only thing is that I have that PRK eye surgery like a few days before that. So I'm hoping that I'll be recovered enough to be able to see.
You can wear an eye patch.
It's both eyes.
Give you an iPad. I'll give you two
It's
iPads.
not like you see anywhere. It's not like you dive anywhere. Come on.
Jonathan can be your seeing eye bear.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. A seeing eye bear.
I'll definitely go. This is
But
great.
I'll take a
I
trip.
love that they're doing this, and I love that they're continuing to push on.
Yes.
Like every festival, every Pride starts small. Continue to support, show up.
This man
and
knows.
Before you know it, before you know it, it'll be the largest thing you've ever done in your
Absolutely.
life.
Because we went from like just a regular old parade, no space to now a whole fete. Imagine
exactly.
the party that goes with fete time, the beverages that come along with that, the freedom that comes along with that. All of that. So let's look. I would definitely want to give applause to like Dwayne and one of my friends who are doing that. Celebrate you guys, Kashi, all of you guys. Like, it's awesome.
Next, each weekend It's Happening Out, we ask our hosts about what's important to them. But the twist is that they must answer in 30 seconds or you'll hear this bell.
Oh, Jesus.
Al left me the bell. We call this segment What's on Your Mind, sponsored by Jets Pizza. Jets is the LGBTQ pizza of choice.
Come on, Jay
What's
Watt.
on your mind is the deep dish Detroit-style pizza, or perhaps the cauliflower thin crust.
Why are you
Jets
doing that with
Pizza
your lips?
has been with It's Happening Out for 4 years, and their Bigger is Better campaign captured our attention. And of course, they're talking about their slices. What did you think we were talking about? Jets supports a huge variety of LGBTQ plus events and nonprofits. With more than 400 locations nationwide, they're considered one of the best franchise opportunities in America. This is why Jets Pizza is our sponsor of What's on My Mind. Maxx Fenning. What's on your mind, Max?
Okay, so fun fact. So for the past year, I've actually been under the age of 21, and so I've been unable.
Yeah.
So they've given me apple juice, basically, or lemonade every single episode. Fun.
Not
insider
today.
fact.
Fun fact.
Today they have not, and I am very under the influence. You said you were a cheap drunk. I'm a cheap drunk.
I was just kidding. I'm an alcoholic.
Oh,
Baby, we have brought
I'm a little
Max to
cheated
the.
too.
We have brought
Me.
Max
I
to-
can feel myself sweating right now.
Max can
Is
feel
that
himself.
what's on your
He can
mind?
feel
You're
it
drunk.
oozing out of his pores slowly.
It's all that's on my mind right now. But I will say, there's always stuff going on the activists in the room. So the Board of Education is voting to implement a bunch of new rules to do a bunch of homophobic bullshit.
Is this drunk
the usual.
version?
The usual.
Max is
drunk
much
version
more
of-
eloquent than this, by the way.
Yeah.
No, I love this.
I love this version of Max. This is like
Keep drinking.
the Threads
so
version
drunk.
of Max.
I like actually, it's like they mix it with stuff. Like I don't know how.
Yeah, these are not full strings.
No, for real.
proud of
But
it, baby.
anyway, I'm too drunk to explain it. So go check out our Instagram at prism.fl to learn more in a more sober capacity.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Soon make friends.
Thank you.
Or a threat. We're soon to make one.
Thank you, Jay Watt. An elimination. What's on your mind?
Baby, trying to hype this thing up right here is on my mind. However, let's clear up some misnomers, some misunderstandings. Being sex positive does not mean that I'm going to screw everybody. Being sex positive does not mean that a person is going to have sex or play with everyone. So when you're having conversations with people, make sure to understand what sex positive means and realize that everybody has conversation, guidelines, places that they don't want to go. And because I've had people reach out to me and say, well, you're sex positive, will you do that and the other? No. Just because I say that does not mean that you meet that criteria. And you don't need to put your weight on someone else. You never yuck someone's yum, but never be less than.
Yep. Somebody.
Very nice.
Real.
Come on, elimination.
Jay, what?
What's up?
What's on your mind?
Well, one of my best friends, the founder of Gay Ultra Festival, it's his birthday today, so I just want to say happy birthday. But I also wanted to announce that he's running for office. He's running for city commissioner in District 2 in Miami.
Oh, wow.
So please support him. He's going to be the only gay person in the city commission. So he's going to be the only one representing us. Obviously, he's the one that founded SAVE. He founded Ford Miami, Gay Ultra Festival. He's done all these things. He even helped marriage equality pass here in the state of Florida. So he's a huge influence, huge representative here for us in Miami. So please support him. Go to Damian Pardo's page. I think it's damianpardo.vote. Give him some funds. Vote for him. Get your friends in District 2 to vote for him as well. And hopefully we'll be seeing him, in office. It'll be
Awesome.
exciting.
Get out and vote.
Get out and vote.
Auntie Maim.
Me on my mind is Barbie. But more specifically, right? So something happened today. I was on Facebook and someone wrote about, they were joking about Barbie and they're like, I don't understand what's the big deal. I have a message to all of you. The world right now is burning. Things are chaotic. We're in the midst of a lot of terrible things. Let people enjoy something.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's all I have to. Let them enjoy. If it's Barbie, if it's Britney, whatever it is, shut the F up. Please let people just enjoy certain things. Yeah. If somebody wants to play video games, let them play video games. Let them do things that bring them joy in their life without you placing judgment on them. It's not necessary, and it doesn't help anybody. And you'll be better off yourself, because if you're carrying that toxic negativity, toward other people, it's just going to eat you up inside. So that's all I have to say about that.
Very nice.
Right.
Yes, man.
And my Caribbean brother, TriniDaddy.
What, great thing's gonna happen. The Seminole Theater down in Homestead, Florida is going to premiere Jekyll and Hyde the musical.
Ooh.
It is fucking amazing. You all need to come out and support. It is not this weekend, but the following weekend, the last 2 weekends in July. Cal's already got his tickets. Al's got his tickets. So all y'all need to get your tickets and come down to the Seminole Theater and see Jekyll and Hyde. I'm producing.
I
I'm
like that
musically
music.
directing.
Oh, you're producing it?
Yeah, I produce
And
all the
musically
shows.
direct.
I produce all the shows and musically direct all the shows at them.
Yeah, but Cardivo.
And
He got a little aggressive.
I
He got
cast it
Cardivo.
all.
Ain't got nobody else.
And I probably got 5 seconds left, and I'm going to say I weirdly miss my little demon lesbian. So, Faye, what?
Oh, she is not.
I'm right here, you piece of shit.
Yeah, there you go. Right. There it is.
And it's not reciprocated.
It's not reciprocated, but it's
Go back
okay.
to Homestead. What are you even wearing?
Go back
Do you miss her now?
I love, even though she may not love me, because that's who TriniDaddy is.
Oh.
And also what's on our mind is the great Jets Pizza.
Take a look around these streets. Do you really think we woke up one day and said, yeah, the world needs more pizza? Nah, just a better one. Better, like the world's best pizza, Jet's Detroit-style pizza. Hand-pressed and baked to the thickest, crispiest crunch. You're welcome. Now visit jetspizza.com and save. Click on hot deals for special offers in your area. Jets, better because it has to be.
Forgot that day.
Thank you, Jets Pizza. Our Hotspots magazine will celebrate 39 years this fall. It has been documenting the LGBTQ plus lifestyle and the inspiration of our Hotspots Queer Entertainment this week, sponsored by the Broward Center for the Performing Arts. In the LGBTQ plus community, we always make jokes about size matters. When it comes to Broward Center, size does matter. The Broward Center is the destination of choice for LGBTQ plus South Florida for spectacular entertainment and a large variety of performance venues. Broward Center ranks among the top 10 most visited theaters in the world, presenting more than 700 performances in a year to more than 700,000 patrons. And Broward Center supports one of the world's largest gay communities of Fort Lauderdale, Broward County, and all of South Florida. They support that LGBTQ plus community and our nonprofits unlike any theater in South Florida. We are excited to tell you about the upcoming shows. And did you know that survey shows that LGBTQ plus community participants in live theater performances 2.5 times more often than our straight counterparts?
Classy.
And that's why they are the sponsor of Hotspots Queer Entertainment this week. Ricky Martin and his husband, Juan Joseph, are divorcing after 6 years of marriage. The couple announced in an emotional statement on social media, Martin, 51, and Joseph, 38, share 2 children, Lucia and Red. They met on Instagram in 2015 and went public with their relationship at the AMFAR Inspiration event in 2016 before marrying the following year. In addition, the news outlets say Ricky has cited, quote, irreconcilable differences, end quote, as the reason for the divorce. In July 2022, his nephew filed a domestic abuse complaint against him and was issued a restraining order. The Hotspots Queer Entertainment is Ricky Martin and Juan Joseph are splitting. Why do we care about famous couples? And speaking of Hotspots Queer Entertainment, here's a quick glimpse of the venues that are part of the Broward Center.
We didn't have a conversation yet. We didn't have the conversation yet. We put it at the end.
So what do you guys think?
Okay, there we go.
Lord have mercy.
So Ricky Martin has been on my top 10 list, and he's been like between the number 1 and 3 spot, all before I even knew I was gay. I don't even know why I came up with a top 10 list of guys that I would be. Exactly. But before I even processed that back in Southern Baptist land, he was at my top. And I always felt that if, I generally know when somebody's gonna like TriniDaddy or not before I even get up them.
Yeah, I was gonna
So
You were drunk.
so I knew that our paths were gonna cross at some point because we're both in music industry stuff, right? So then of course they did at one point, and
of course.
Of course.
In the bathroom.
So we were
In the
at
bathroom.
backstage for an award show, and I was like, "Is this my chance to shoot my shot? Is this my
What?
chance to shoot my shot?"
Did you shoot
And I'm
your
like-
shot?
And so I start
Did it
walking
hit
up,
his
and
eye?
I see all of his security people there, right? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it now because they're going to ask me who I am, and that's going to ruin the moment of
You're
like
TriniDaddy.
whatever.
Wait a minute.
So I said, I'm
You're
sure our
Trini
paths, exactly, right? So then our paths are going to cross again. So I'm like, I'm going to like wait on this, right? And then he got married the next week. Or not next week, but I found out he was with this guy, right? So I'm like, fuck, I should have done it. So now, that's why I care, but I generally don't care.
I shoot your shot now. You better.
Ricky, if you're watching this show, Ricky.
If they made their relationship public
TriniDaddy.
a week later, probably wouldn't have been
Probably
successful.
didn't have your shot.
Maybe.
I love this though.
But
TriniDaddy,
I'm
no,
glad
he
you
got
didn't
his
shoot
ticket
your
to Puerto
shot.
Rico. He is ready.
he's ready.
I just want y'all to know that this was the best Grindr announcement, the best Tinder announcement, the best Maxx.com, because he's letting y'all know that he's on the market. He's letting y'all know when y'all see him in the bathhouse.
He's the
He was
He's gonna be
on
on
IG. It's the
Raya.
best IG. They met on IG. So if you want to find him, stalk him on IG. He already telling you where to
Ricky
find him.
Martin,
All right.
if you need a new stepmother, here you
But that's how they met on Instagram. He sent him a message,
Get
and
sent to his request folder. You're not going to get further than that. I'll tell you that.
Probably.
Tell you that much.
I'm sure our paths will cross again.
How would you?
Right.
Because I have a request folder.
Real.
So you're saying that
I'm no Ricky Martin, but I get messages in my request.
Absolutely.
that I don't reach
But,
out. And I've shot my shot before too. Just not at Ricky. Just not at Ricky Martin. But I really don't care. The thing I cared about
He's
the
more
most.
sensible.
Yeah, the thing I cared about the most was his relationship with his nephew. That was the part that was freaking me out. That's the part that I want to keep tabs with. I don't.
But apparently, like, that whole thing was like the nephew's like got some psychological problem.
Exactly.
and all of
Like,
that.
I don't
Good.
even want to give this any gasoline.
Good.
if
Like,
there's
all of that
no
got-
Still got a
other-
restraining order on him. So
But it got dismissed within a week because like it was a lot. I mean, to me, so because they're not the only couple this week, right? So Billy Porter and his husband,
they sure did.
right? So it's not one couple; it's two couples. And the thing, it matters to me, right? And I hate saying it matters to me because this is something that, unfortunately, straight people look at and they're like, even though they get divorced all the time. Like one of our celebrities
Absolutely.
get divorced, and like, see,
look at them.
See?
Yeah, that's
they
why
shouldn't
they
get
can't
married. And you're like, yeah, you guys literally have like a 60%.
Yeah,
divorce
literally.
rate, And
Yeah,
I don't understand, but it's like it's one of those things where it matters, and it doesn't necessarily matter to us, but it does matter, and it's always sad to me because it's like there's something that's a little bit bigger than just a celebrity couple getting divorced. We see straight couples like that, and we're kind of like, oh, okay, that's sad, but like. When this happens for us as a community, it's like, ugh.
It's a
But
moment.
when you think about that, when you see our friends who are married and been married for a long time, then it gives you hope.
Yes.
So I think we do care. Although I made jokes, I still think that he's making his moment that's Tinder and TikTok and all that kind of stuff for his next. But we love when we see love last. We love when our friends get married, when they get engaged. We celebrate those days. It gives the single folks hope that it can last forever and that we can eventually find it for those of us who don't have it. So I do agree that, we want to hold on to those moments of those people who last throughout the craziness, the money, the fans, the life, the nephew, all the drama that goes along with it, and they still can be someone. But if you read that story a little bit deeper, it almost seemed like they were trying to find ways to make it work. So I read a little bit deeper into it. I was like, well, maybe they're getting into a throuple, maybe they're trying to do some poly kind of stuff going on. So maybe they had some conversation and realized at this point we can't move any further. We've done all our things, and maybe they have tried.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Why we putting the pressure on us? Like, look at Khloe Kardashian, for instance. Like, she had a baby with homeboy, and then they got a divorce. She got a surrogate with him still, so they're having a second baby together. Why?
Wait, I don't know this story.
Yeah,
What?
and he
know
cheated
this?
on her.
No!
On her twice. So it's like, y'all. I mean, I said we're putting too much pressure.
well,
on
she also
us.
wanted her kids to have the same father. So
Oh, I know, but
and they're Kardashians. They're not
what
real
happened
people.
what happened was that they had I don't know how you call it. They went through the surrogacy. They got her pregnant, and then she found out that he was having a baby with someone else.
Yeah.
So she's not gonna for lack of a better term, abort.
So the baby's gonna have a third sibling. They have mazel tov.
They're going to have the same birthday. They're going to have the same birthday. Talking about happy birthday to
all the babies have the same dads, right?
When did that happen?
But it is sad when a relationship falls apart like
For
this,
sure.
and it always sucks, for them because you don't know what's going on in
And
their
they have
life.
kids.
Yeah,
There's like
the
4
are
kids
affected,
involved. So
Four
you know.
children now.
But it's also
He's rich.
It also makes me like think about because I know that we have
And I only
friends.
see 2 in the picture, so only
Well,
clearly
those are the
two.
older
Only two.
ones. They have.
those are the ones that are between the two of them.
Yeah.
But he has Valentino and
they're like-
oh,
You're
going to point it out.
You're right. Go ahead.
Stalker.
Doctor, so you're shooting your shot. So
Everybody's ready to get together.
But I think the real reason will eventually, come out. It always comes out because I know there's like so many people that, even on our social media sites, like these couples that post every single second of their relationship. relationship,
Everything.
and then they break up and they're like, we don't want to talk about it. I'm like, no, bitch, I want to know. Like, I've liked all of your posts. I've had to see this for years.
There was that TikTok couple that also broke up.
The French
Pierre and
Boo.
Nick.
Oh.
Yeah.
After a year.
For real. And
Yeah.
they put, I mean, their whole social media platform was built around
On their
them.
couples.
Well, that
And
Chris Olsen guy, Chris Olsen with his other dancer.
Oh, yeah. A few
They
months
were,
ago,
I literally, I was watching them every day. And then they stopped posting together, and I was like, what's happening?
And
But if you read
that's also
the
issue with
story,
building your whole social media platform around a
around your
relationship.
if you read the
Boss
story
ass.
about that couple, also they talked about how social media consumed their relationship, and they didn't know how to be a couple outside of TikTok and Instagram. You know, so you never know, like these celebrities, like what's actually going on in their life, and you know, as much as they try to normalize, you know, themselves, like it's just kind of hard.
They need
Yeah.
Jesus. That's all I got.
Jesus.
And speaking of hotspots, queer entertainment,
Speaking of Jesus.
here's a quick glimpse of the venues that are part of the Broward Center.
The Broward Center for the Performing Arts, Parker Playhouse, Aventura Arts and Cultural Center, Rose and Alfred Miniachi Performing Arts Center. 4 venues that together bring a wealth of excitement to our community through the performing arts. The Broward Center for the Performing Arts is the center for world-class live entertainment, arts education, special events, dining, and more.
Thank you, Broward Center, for the performing arts. Next, we are proud of our special partnership with Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale. Supporting that partnership, we are broadcasting from our permanent set here at Sunshine Cathedral at Happening Out Television Studios. We broadcast Sunshine Cathedral's Sunday International Service at 10:30 a.m. every week. Next, let's discuss It's Happening Out Hot Topic of this week. It's sponsored by the American retail chain Hot Topic, with nearly 700 locations specializing in counterculture-related clothing and accessories, representing many varied interests of the LGBTQ+ community, including music, movies, graphic artists, gaming, and more. Hot Topic features one of the largest collections of Pride merchandise that celebrates all aspects of the LGBTQ+ community. Hot Topic is a major supporter of the diversity of our community and supports many events, festivals, and nonprofit LGBTQ+ organizations. And that's why they are the sponsor of It's Happening Out's Hot Topic. Open an app like Grindr, and you'll be greeted with body-shaming phrases so familiar and cliched that straight people know about them, too. Like no fats, no femmes, gym fit only, I work out, and you should too. When Attitude magazine conducted a body survey in 2017, 84% of people said they felt under intense pressure to have a so-called good body. When people with shredded abs post photos of themselves and receive huge numbers of likes, things become trickier for people who are not so lean-bodied. This week's hot topic is, summer is coming, and especially in the LGBTQ+ community, that means pressure to have a summer body. Does it matter?
This is a funny topic. I didn't know that we were going to talk about this, but me and Chris actually got featured.
Did you not read the notes?
No.
You gonna read the show frame?
Wait, no, I didn't. I didn't. But it's funny because Chris and I were featured on Attitude Magazine for body positivity, and we were like, we're going to be like the Bears and the Fat Boys, and we got such bad backlash over it, saying that we weren't bare enough.
Yeah.
And we weren't thick enough, and we weren't hairy enough. And I was like, shit, then what is up to standard anymore? You don't know what a summer body's supposed to look like, because it all depends on what other people think your body's supposed to look like.
It's all body policing. I hate saying it, but especially gay male culture, it is nothing but body policing. That, guys, we have terms for these. Telling a straight person, sometimes you'll make a joke, right? I remember somebody was doing something, and I was like, oh, they're such an otter. Right? And literally this straight girl was like, what?
Yeah.
And then having to break down that there's terms for body sizes and body types and ages and everything else. She looked at me like, you people are insane. I was like, yes. I know this is an insanity that I just have learned to live with, but this is our world. And I would love to say, especially when they do things like this, Attitude especially, I would love to say body doesn't matter. But I've read a lot of issues of Attitude. They do not have that much body diversity in their own magazine. And it's of all the people to do something like that, I'm like, really, you guys? Because you don't even have that many bodies that are different. So it's it does matter. And it doesn't matter to me. I have the body I have, and it's whatever. It's I'm 43. You're going to get whatever body I want to give you, right? I don't care. But the thing is, I see friends that are younger and that are single, and they worry about it constantly, and they're concerned about it constantly, and they talk about it so much that it's this should not be the thing that runs your life. You worrying about missing the gym or eating a certain thing or getting your macros or things it's there's so much more to life than these things.
It's kind of like in the Mean Girls scene in the movie where they're in front of the mirror and they're like, oh, my nose and my chin and, my cheekbones and stuff like that. We're so critical of ourselves. And I know I am as well, because you won't catch me shirtless anywhere, except if it's the beach or the pool, and that's it. In Eagle, when they, take off their shirts to go into that other room, and stuff like that. I would never do that, because I'm just not comfortable with being shirtless in a crowd full of judgmental people who are going to be like, oh my gosh, you're so fat, or you're this, or you're that, because you're never good enough.
But we kind of brought that on ourselves. And so we talked earlier before the show about how everybody takes a journey. Everybody starts at one place, and then you try an inch, and then you realize, hold on, I'm good at this. I'm beautiful. Let me try another inch. And before you know it, your mindset has changed. I shared on the show when I fell into leather and fell back into leather, and winning the title here, being told I wasn't leather enough, I wasn't bulk enough, I wasn't Caucasian enough, I wasn't this enough. What makes that enough? What standard are you setting at? Because that doesn't change who I am as a human. Mm-hmm. And so we have to then push back on those normatives and say, you know what? I exist. And I would challenge you to realize how beautiful you are. Because just like you, I had to come from a progression in place where I never liked my body. I didn't like taking off my shirt. But the moment I realized I could, and I could still breathe in that space, I can still walk around in that space, I can still order a drink, you're going to keep clothes on me. So I encourage you to take that moment, whatever that feels like to you, whether it's unbuttoning up a shirt, because society norms does not have to have a home in your brain and your heart unless you allow it. And so we can push back on that, because you're beautiful. Again, it's amazing to hear how all of us probably have a story about when someone said we wasn't this, we wasn't that. But guess what? At the end of the day, we're still living and breathing in that space and still being amazing human beings, and all of that looks like. Yeah. And therefore, hashtag enough started, because you are enough as you are. You are enough as you are. And no one can tell you differently. And push back on that.
Yeah. So I have a big dick, and that's not fair.
Go ahead.
That's all I wanted to say.
Oh, okay.
I also want to say it.
They can't tell that from a shirtless body. They don't know that.
Listen, you have your nipples all over.
You only know that because I showed you. But pause, you be on this show with I don't even want this shirt because I knew I was going to sit beside you to show my little bit of muscles. Don't do that.
You should have worn that mesh shirt tonight. You should have to show your nipples through the mesh. Yeah.
Next week.
Okay, so what I'm gonna say is that I'm probably the least in the gay culture than anybody on this panel, and there is a reason for it. There is a reason for it, and it's from what your friend says about, like, you got a name for all the stuff that you have learned to live with. I choose not to live with it, because when I go into a gay space, in general, I feel all of this, and I don't feel like it's necessarily directed towards me. I see it directed towards everybody else. I see the body issues, I see eating disorders, I see, like, the way that people are so insecure about the most ridiculous things, and I see what they idolize. And I say they, I mean, I'm part of it as well. Like, I can be in it for a little bit, but I have to get out of it. I can't stay in that space. And I find a lot of comfort in straight male culture. Like, that's who I identify much more with. And straight dudes don't obsess about these things in general. There are some, of course.
They do. They do.
Well, I'm gonna say there are some that do it for, you know, if you're obese or whatever and you feel a certain way. But in general, I'll say that the crowd of straight males that I hang out with, they'd be like, you know what, I'm fat. Whatever. Like, it's not something that eats at them, and they decide whether they're going to work out for something. So I do not think that the issue with this, like, seeing people who are really fit and beautiful and whatever, that if that is causing pain inside of you, that means that you haven't worked out your own mental issues, your own mental health. And that's the key to it. It's not about shaming anybody else or saying, this is what they're doing, this is what they're doing. It's you have to figure out within yourself what is of value to you and loving yourself, and then none of this matters.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, and I'm glad that you brought that up, because it's so true. Like, especially in my, like, I identify with the straight community a lot more. Like, when I go into a gay bar, every day I'm like gobsmacked. I'm like, wow, this is like ridiculous. Where you don't see kind of those like abnormalities in the heteronormative like experience, if you will. But I understand what you're saying, because Chris and I, we struggle with this brain, like, with, am I big enough? Am I fit enough? Am I fat enough? Do I need a belly for them to like me? Am I coming into this bear world where, like, I'm hairy enough? If I go into the heteronormative world, like, am I, like, society, am I, like, universally hot? You know what I mean? If I end up in a magazine, I'm like, people are going to think, like, I'm trying, I'm being so much, I'm being, like, about myself. When it was, like, a feature they gave me, you know, it's like, your brain starts to fucking make, like, these weird, like, assumptions, when the reality is like, are you happy with yourself, dude? Like, are you healthy? Because that's where it comes down to. Well, I used to say to myself, like, am I getting laid? Yeah, I'm getting laid. Fuck what I look like. I'm getting laid, bitch. Like,
but hetero men, I'm sorry, but hetero men do the same thing. They work their muscles out to get that, to be eye candy for the women, to be the on the arms of the pretty girl, to attract the most prettiest in the room. So we got, again, let's not find ways to divide, but realize this is a human issue, period.
Yeah. And they get married, and they go, when we get married, we still look for open relationships, we still look for polyamorous, and we're still hung up on that bullshit.
I think the other thing is, you know, I'm a fairly confident person, and I used to be much more deeply insecure than I am now. And I think the biggest insecurity is I've always been like, oh, well, I don't have an ass or whatever. And I think that increasingly, don't laugh at that, but
You're part of the problem. You're part of the problem.
You're judging him.
I've never looked at Max's ass.
I mean, either. It's just that you're thinking about that.
But I think that's always been like my thing, right? That's always been so like a big insecurity of mine. And I think increasingly I realize, you know, that you know, especially as I've been single, and I've been single for a significant amount of time now, that it's just sort of all fallen away, and especially
since he was 12.
Your life isn't a significant amount of time.
No, since I was like 13, yes, I was almost continuously in relationships until I was like 19 years old, and so this is the longest that I've been single. And I think that part of it is I found community. I found I felt so whole in the space that I'm in now, that I feel so much love and so many other arenas and areas of my life that these insecurities, when I look in the mirror, just sort of all fall away because I feel so supported in these other spaces. And I think it's also important for us to recognize that people who do not feel that community, queer people often do not feel that sense of home, that sense of community in the spaces that they occupy. And so oftentimes the only place that you have to compare yourself is these magazines and these things that are showing these idealized versions of what it means to be queer, of what it means to have a desirable body, right? And then you don't have these other outlets to be able to find love, to be able to find community and love in whatever form it may take. And I think that's what I felt is really finding this love in these other spaces.
But do you find when the universally hot holds value, right? So you feel less than because that person next to you that is hot just gets the attention, gets the jobs, gets the magazine. You know what I mean?
Yes and no, because the problem for me is that when you think about the universally hot person, right? The way I've always looked at it is, and this goes for anybody, if your entire life is based on that, sure, they may get a job, they may get things, but when your entire life is based on that, that also means that what is your life based on, right? And I think about that a lot with social media, very often. You know, if you think about the people who have built up their entire reputation based off their looks, based off the things they do. We were joking earlier about the what we're going to do later, right? The Shag, Marry, Chop. It's like, how far do you go to maintain that attention that you got because of your looks or your attractiveness or things like that? Because that's the same, look at Madonna, right? We talk about Madonna and everything she's doing to stay young. That's because, in addition to her talent, she also thought that her looks were the thing that were bringing people in. So it becomes very painful, and in a way, and I think it's not easy to tell people this, but it becomes very painful because you do, much like TriniDaddy said, you have got to find a thing for yourself, right? If you know, as Max said, if you know that you go into an environment that's toxic, and you know that that's not the right environment for you to fill, you may not need to go to that environment until you're feeling good with yourself, because we've now subdivided ourselves into so many categories. Talking about the bear thing, I've seen that myself. It's there are bears, but then there's other kinds of bears, but there are this kind of bears. We've taken categories that were already there, and now we've subdivided into multiple categories. So we know already that we are in a culture, especially male culture, that's very image-based. It is very what you see. It's there in both straight and gay worlds, right? That's why you have the incel community that's happening right now, because you have all of these young men that they don't feel they are good looking enough, and they feel like that's the reason why women aren't giving them attention. And so they go and get plastic surgery and they go pay for all these things. It's not just us. It's a large part of it is attributed to our subculture of social media that is nothing but showing us the most idealized versions of everything all the time. And I think that until we break ourselves of that sort of false reality, we're always going to have this problem.
If I can add one thing to that, and I'm sure you all can attest to this as well. How many guys that you've ever been with that were that commercially hot dude, right? Or girl, and they rank in the top insecure of how they look and what they think about themselves. The people that are the most secure, in my opinion, of the people I've been with, been around, have been that kind of average, middle of the road, I don't care that I'm they understand that they're not that commercially six-pack ab hot person, and they're not this, troll here, but they seem to be the most secure, the most level-headed. The ones that we think have it all, they are all going through it as well.
Why they're like that is because they're obsessed.
Exactly.
But not only that, but it's self-awareness in the tribe that you're hanging with. So if you look at, I often talk about on the show, I look at people and who they hang with, who they posting pictures with, who are they living their lives with. And so if you don't have a diverse group of people where we all can look different, where we all can love each other for a variety of reasons, then you're not going to have that build of security and self-worth. However, if you're competing with the Joneses, that's a real reason, a real saying. Well, if I got to compete with you, then I'm never going to feel better or equal to, because I'm always trying to catch up to your level. And you have to take a step back, not only community, but the tribe of your friends. Are your friends not hyping you for the right reasons? Are your friends not saying, you know what, you are just amazing as you are? But if you're looking at, well, he got 2 more pecs, I got to find 2 more. He got 2 more, his stomach got 2 more muscles, now I got to find. That we're in constant competition. We'll never be secure enough to realize that our friendship is deeper than an image. Our friendship is deeper than just what we see face value. And I think that's what we find here in the community, is that only certain minded people hang with certain minded folks, and therefore those insecurities happen because they only look around in that circle, not outside of that, and realize that life is beautiful if you have this body, that body, and it can still be amazing.
And like Christina Aguilera says, you're beautiful in every single way.
Stop. Give me a microphone. Give me a microphone.
I don't know about all that.
Immediately.
But
Give
okay.
me a microphone. I'll stick
And now that we talked about body positivity, next let's have a playful conversation about sex with our game, Shag, Marry, Chop. It's sponsored by Andrew Christian. AC is the world's most recognized sexy fashion brand for men. Iconic names like Trophy Boy, fashion wear, swimsuits, and underwear are just the start of Andrew Christian. Founded by and dedicated to the LGBTQ plus community, Andrew was selected as this year's prestigious Out 100. Very interesting that Andrew Christian has become a status symbol for straight men wanting to adopt the style that the queer community represents. The brand supports our LGBTQ plus community is unparalleled through pride events, major parties, our charities, and so much more. Andrew Christian's presence in pop culture, entertainment, trending video content, and so much more is why Andrew Christian is our sponsor of Shag, Marry, Chop.
Speaking of attitude.
Comic-Cons prove that nerds and geeks rule. These are the hottest cosplayers on TikTok. Tabitha Lyons, Jonathan Stryker, and Michael J. Lozada. So let's play Shag, Marry, Chop. Maxx Fenning?
Oh God. Okay. I am going to shag Jonathan Stryker. He looks like he has a fair amount of stamina, which I appreciate.
You want to be manhandled?
Well, damn, how long you want this to go, boy?
I don't know.
Maybe.
That would be
I'll be honest in that it's sort of a process of elimination for the other because of the other two. Michael, he seems very sweet. He seems very nice. I think we'd vibe. So I think I would marry Michael. And then I think that Tabitha would hate me. I think that she would, I don't know why. I think that she would just absolutely despise me.
Why?
So,
you're a great guy.
I
Why
don't know,
would you
but
say
I don't think that Tabitha would acknowledge that.
I don't think she would either.
I think,
actually.
well, first of all,
I'm agreeing with you.
well, screw you. But secondly, I just don't think that she would.
I know, right? Emergency.
And so I think, unfortunately, the feeling has to be mutual to maintain my own ego.
Yeah.
So Tabitha is going to.
Okay. All right. An elimination?
I just want him to drink shots all the time on this show.
Yes.
All the
On
time.
this show, because the filter is so off and it's so amazing. So I just want to shag on Michael Lozada. I enjoy my investigation. He said he likes big cannons and that little thing, and so I just wanted to just give it to him and then be done.
Yeah.
I'm so fine with that.
And from your photos, we know that you.
We know
I mean, I showed you guys.
Where do you see his photos at?
You missed it.
Oh,
you missed it.
I
Yeah,
guess.
it's okay.
You missed it.
You weren't in that group text.
I'm always left out of the game. That's okay. That's okay.
Trini is like trying to make up for not being on the show for weeks. You keep trying to take everybody's time. If you notice that, okay, stay over there. So Jonathan, I'm going to marry. I just went looking at his cosplay. I just want to like beat that box in like fast motion, like the Flash. Like that Flash costume was kind of sexy to me.
Yeah.
So I just want to beat that box like real fast all the time, every day,
Put a ring
every
on
moment,
that.
every moment. And so Tabitha, just from the cosplay, I think she's sexy. I think we would kind of fight about the energy because I want to be in charge and she's gonna want to be in charge, and then we probably would just be a better friend. She would be my good wingman to go in like hype up some things. So I'm kind of excited about that.
Nice. All right, Jay Woods.
Jay Woods.
Who you shag, marry, and chopping?
I'm not sure. I know who I'm marrying. So I think in terms of shag, let's go with Tabitha, because Tabitha's looking slamming in this outfit right here. She's got some tatas that I want to go to. And then Jonathan Stryker's got this Gambit outfit that is legit.
Yes.
Is legit. So I definitely want to marry Jonathan. He looks like a good time. I'm down for the little speed that he's got going on there.
Like right there. To beat that box.
Right? So, I mean, I don't mind if I beat that up. And then poor Michael, I'm just going to have to chop because I don't know too much about him. And this is what, Fortnite or something? Little costume that he did with a little gun?
Oh, Lord.
So I don't know anything about that.
I don't know,
That's
Grandpa.
under my pay grade.
I don't know,
Grandpa.
Exactly, that's my point.
Is it Fortnite? I don't know.
Fortnite.
No, sorry, that's it. Chop Michael. That's it. Sorry, guys.
Auntie Maim?
So full disclosure, I'm gonna friend zone Jonathan already because I'm actually friends with Jonathan Stryker. So I'm going friend zone.
Is he from here?
Yeah, he's from here.
Oh.
I'm going to shag Tabitha because she has BDE. And
real?
Yeah, for sure for us BDE, and I'm pretty sure that something terrible would happen with that.
Max perked up.
Very.
No, that's why I'm saying she'd hate me.
For me, like she's got BDE, right? She does. Like she would do terrible things with.
He agreed too.
And I'm gonna marry Michael. Much the same, right?
Everybody
Super
hates
sweet vibe.
Nobody hates Trini.
Super sweet energy. Oh my God, y'all are stepping all over my.
Sorry.
Go ahead, man. Trini, how about you?
No. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's just cut all this.
Let us finish.
Go ahead, Trini. You won the moment. You got
Need to
it.
hurry up and go get some pizza.
The spotlight is on you.
Okay.
All right, Trini, who are you shagging? Who are you marrying?
Okay, so this affects me too. All right. So I'm gonna say Jonathan Stryker is shag first, right? So I'm gonna shag him because that's my favorite body aesthetic. Like when he takes the shirt off, like right now, yes. And I like the hairless slip and slide. I like to feel like you could just jump on him and just like slide right off.
Do that again?
I love just. Yeah, and then you come back for the second. You come back again, right? That's my favorite. Michael Lasada. He kind of looks dumb to me. He seems dumb, right? But I kind of like, sometimes I like a dumb guy, right? Like he just seems like he's
I'm looking.
dumb and that like fun. Like he'd be like, you right, you know? And I feel like that would be a really fun kind of dynamic to have. So I'm going to marry him.
Are those like the guys in Homestead?
No. You right.
Baby, all I saw was Dumb and Dumber. All I saw was Dumb and Dumber. Like, you right. Where we going? I don't know where you going. You right.
And let me tell you, I always have a bad feeling about those people like Tabitha Lyons when they are just like, I'm too fierce. I'm too this. Like they want the attention too much of the time, and that just turns me off.
They're
So
all
like,
players. They want
Tabitha, you know, but you're beautiful. Okay, bye-bye.
All right.
You right.
You right.
With so much shagging, marrying, and chopping, let me remind you of what we love about Andrew Christian.
It's all about us. It's all about us. All about us. We're dancing close together, making out, making out. It's all about us. It's all about us. There's a magic in your eyes, can't get enough, can't get enough. Oh, it's all about us. It's all about us. It's all about us. It's all about us. Time to go home. Don't want this night to end. Yeah, about time we stop pretending. Come home with me. Let's write a history. Tonight I'll make you see. It's all about us. It's all about us. We're dancing close together, making.
You're obsessed with.
Thank you, Andrew Christian. Well, that's it. Another week with It's Happening Out. You sat right here at the LGBTQ plus kitchen table as we kiki on the things that are important to our community. We invite you to follow our 501c3 nonprofit experiment. Is our LGBTQ plus community important to you? Our mission means that we deeply believe that it is. Thank you for joining us and taking a little time to have some fun with us. Remember, if it's important to you, it's
happening out.
Until next